Hi students, today I want to explain about the very important topic molecular orbital theory. The molecular orbital theory is a most advanced theory. Here, what is the need of this molecular orbital theory? We already have so many theories now, like octet theory we saw, Lewis valency bond theory we saw, and Vesper theory, hybridization concept we have to explain about the molecule formation. But why we are going for molecular orbital theory? There is a reason for molecular orbital theory. The reason or cause of going for molecular orbital theory is mainly to explain about paramagnetic nature. Paramagnetic nature of oxygen. Very important. And in the examination, they are also asking about sulfur. So, first oxygen and sulfur both are same group elements. To explain the paramagnetic nature of oxygen, we are having only one theory which explains is molecular orbital theory. By using any other theories, we cannot explain the paramagnetic nature of oxygen. As per the normal magnetic behavior of compounds, what we can say is odd number of electrons containing species is paramagnetic, even number of electron containing species is diamagnetic. In general we can go. Okay, so for example, if oxygen is taken, oxygen contains 8 plus 8, 16 electrons. 16 means it is even number. Even number means actually what happens for this? It behaves as a diamagnetic as per normal theories. But it is paramagnetic is explained. The paramagnetic nature of oxygen is explained by this molecular orbital theory only. There is no other theories to explain the paramagnetic nature of oxygen. And about the stability and chemical inertness of nitrogen also, N triple bond N having, even C triple bond O is there. Okay, there C triple bond O is also present, but C triple bond C is also present. But N triple bond N is highly inert. Why this is highly inert means we cannot explain by normal valency bond theory or other theories, but molecular orbital theory only explains about this inertness, chemical inertness of N2. So, to explain about this, we are going for molecular orbital theory. First, we will see about the main features of molecular orbital theory, our main postulates or main points, and then we will go for the details of the molecular orbital theory. See, the first point, main points of this molecular orbital theory are main features. In this first point, atomic orbitals combine or overlapping of atomic orbitals to form molecular orbitals. Means, for example, we are having two atoms. This is atomic orbital and this is atomic orbital of two different atoms. Atomic orbital of two atoms. They are combining, then they form molecular orbitals. Here we are getting molecular orbitals. So, generally atomic orbitals are present in atoms only. So, here atomic orbitals are present in atoms and these molecular orbitals are present in molecules. So, molecules contains what means molecular orbitals. No atomic orbital existence in molecule. So atomic orbitals are combining to form molecular orbitals. That is first point. Second point, electrons in atom is in attraction of one nucleus. Suppose I am taking one atom, for example, here hydrogen atom is taken. Here hydrogen atom means this is the nucleus and this is one electron which is revolving around this nucleus. And another hydrogen atom is taken. Here this is the nucleus, this is the another electron of this atom. Okay, so this type of electron revolvement occurs when these two are combining, for example, then it is forming a hydrogen molecule. This is the overlapping area, suppose, and these are the nuclei, and these electrons are revolving in between these two, means here electron is present, here electron is present, they are revolving in between these two nuclei, means it is looking like this. So it is looking like this is in between these two nuclei attraction, and here this is the electron nuclei. Okay, in between the two nuclei is present. So but in molecule electrons are in the attraction of two nuclei. So here only one nucleus, atom, when we are taking atom, they are present only in the attraction of one nucleus, but in a molecule, the electrons are present are in the attraction of two nuclei. Two atoms if combining, they are present in the attraction of two nuclei. If three atoms are combining, they are in the attraction of three nuclei. Okay. Next, number of molecular orbitals formed is equal to number of atomic orbitals combining. Very important point. So, how many atomic orbitals combine? Suppose here one is combining. Then how many we are getting? Two molecular orbitals. So, when two atomic orbitals are combining, please remember atomic orbital plus one atomic orbital, then we are getting how many molecular orbitals? Two molecular orbitals. So, the number of atomic orbitals that are combining or overlapping is equal to the number of molecular orbitals formed. So, please remember these points are main features of the molecular orbital theory. What is the first point? Atomic orbitals combine to form molecular orbitals. So, atoms are having the atomic orbitals and those atomic orbitals combine to form molecular orbitals. Second point, electrons in an atom are in the attraction of only one nuclei, but electrons in a molecule are in the attraction of the two nuclei, the bonded two atoms nuclei. And third one, number of molecular orbitals formed is equal to number of atomic orbitals combining. Next, next point. Molecular orbitals are having lower energy. Means here there are mainly atomic orbitals. We are telling now atomic orbital and atomic orbital are combining. So these atomic orbital combine to form two types of molecular orbitals. Here this is molecular orbital and this is another type of molecular orbital. And in these two types of molecular orbitals, one is called as bonding molecular orbitals, another one is called as anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Here anti-bonding, here ABMO means anti-bonding. This is called as anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Here anti-bonding molecular orbitals and bonding molecular orbitals, BMO. This is called as BMO, this is called as ABMO. And here these two types of molecular orbitals are formed, and anti-bonding molecular orbitals are having generally high energy or their energy is more, whereas bonding molecular orbitals are having lower energy and they have high stability. These are having bonding molecular orbitals are having low energy and they have high stability. The stability is more for the bonding molecular orbitals, whereas it is reverse for anti-bonding. Here they are having higher energy and they have less stability. Here stability is less. So please remember atomic orbitals, if two atomic orbitals are combining, then two molecular orbitals are formed. Two atomic orbitals gives two molecular orbitals, and these two atomic orbitals combining two molecular orbitals, in this one will be bonding molecular, another one will be anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, and generally bonding molecular orbitals are having lower energy and high stability. Anti-bonding are having higher energy and low stability, less stability. Okay, and next point. And if your order of energy levels is taken, bonding molecular orbitals are having less energy. Then next is non-bonding, means we can say atomic orbitals. Atomic orbitals. So what is the next bonding is atomic orbitals are having the next order, and the last one is anti-bonding molecular orbital. This is energies order. So here energies order, if you are taking, what are having very low energy means bonding molecular orbitals. The next one is atomic orbitals. Means here simply you can remember like this: atomic orbital, and this is another atomic orbital. When these two atomic orbitals are combining, then we are getting two types of orbitals. One is called as bonding molecular orbitals, another one is called as anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Okay, so if you see here, bonding molecular orbitals are very lower, so it has less energy and more stability. Next is atomic orbitals, and next is anti-bonding molecular orbital. That is the energies order of different atomic orbitals and molecular orbitals. And while filling the electrons in the molecular orbitals, same rules which we follow for the atomic orbitals. While filling the atomic orbitals, we follow three rules. One is Hobsbawm's principle, second is Hund's rule, third is Pauli's exclusion principle. Hobsbawm's principle means energy levels increasing order, that is building up principle. These three principles you study about this electron filling and electronic configuration writing also in the atomic structure chapter. Please go through this chapter, or while going or while watching the videos in the coming next chapter is atomic structure only, then you can get easily about this electron filling. Okay, and next the molecular orbitals are also filled by the same principles. By using the same principles we can. And next, molecular orbitals, if we take, they are polycentric, whereas sorry, atomic orbitals are monocentric. So simply you can remember, molecular orbitals are considered as polycentric, whereas atomic orbitals are monocentric. Next one, atomic orbitals means how we can represent atomic orbitals. What are the atomic orbitals? S orbital, P orbital, D orbital, F orbital. These are the atomic orbitals. Or P, if you are taking, we have Px, Py, Pz also. Okay, whereas like D and F also. But molecular orbitals, if you are taking, these molecular orbitals, if you are taking, then they are indicated by using a sigma. And the next one is pi, and the next is delta. By using these symbols, we can indicate the molecular orbitals. And here, if it is a bonding molecular orbitals, then we can simply use sigma, pi, delta. If they are anti-bonding molecular orbitals, then we can use sigma star, pi star, and delta star. So to indicate means notation, representation of molecular orbitals. In representation of molecular orbitals, the sigma, pi, delta is used for bonding molecular orbitals which are having lower energy, and sigma star, pi star, delta star is used for the anti-bonding molecular orbitals which are having higher energy and less stability. Okay, these are the main features, and in the coming class, next class, we can explain about the how they combine and how they form the molecular orbitals. The atomic orbitals combine, how they will combine, and what are the conditions required, and formation of molecular orbitals and different types of molecular orbitals we can see. Okay.